Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Now today I'm going to be working on the blouse that I'm going to be wearing to my brother's wedding. Now if you guys are following me on my channel, you can see that I did a drawing to show how I wanted my outfit for the wedding to look like. And if you guys are new to the channel, I'm going to leave the link in the description so you guys can go and watch the videos that I did before in preparation for the wedding, so you guys can see what the drawing looked like and my progress so far. Now what I'm going to be working on right now is the blouse. So what I'm going to be doing is, and as you guys who are following me should know, from the drawing you will have a pretty good idea of what the basic look of the blouse is gonna be. So I'm just gonna be using an old pattern that I normally use when I'm making blouse, and this pattern that is actually an old blouse that I had, and I basically just pull it out, and whenever I'm doing anything which basically looks somewhat like that, and that's a good idea that you guys can use. If you have an old blouse, you can just pick it out and you guys can use the pattern from it. It makes it so much easier than actually going to get a blouse and then lay it down, because at least then you'll have the correct measurement and you already know that the garment that you're using to get your pattern is something that already fits you. So what I'm going to be doing is, the blouse is a little bit different from this pattern that I'm using, but the basic construction is pretty much the same. So what I'm just going to be doing is, I'm just going to be going out and cutting out the pieces for the blouse. So you guys just stick around, alright? Now basically this pattern that I have is like a open front normal like a work blouse, because it's actually one of my old work blouse. So it's just an open front blouse. So if you guys have a old open front blouse, this would be perfect, because basically the only difference on it would probably be what you're gonna be doing with the arm to get that turn up and the neckline, and I'm going to show you guys how to do everything step by step. So you guys, let's get started. Alright you guys, I'm going to go ahead and show you the different pieces. So here I have the back part of it that I pull out, and I have the front right and the front left, and I also have the sleeves. Now, and here I have the color of it. Now we're not going to be using the color. What we're going to be using today is just 3 parts. We're just going to be needing the 2 sleeves, and you're going to be needing, you're not going to be using the front right and the front, you're not going to be using any part of the front right or the front back. Just going to be folding that and putting that aside. So what you're going to be using is just the back, because the pattern of it, if you guys saw the drawing, it's not going to be open. It's going to be a blouse that you're just going to be able to like pull over your head, but it still have that open front look. It looks as though there is a buttons. I don't even think I'm going to attach the buttons onto it. This is just going to be the impression there, even though I put the buttons. I may, if I can find some gold buttons, but what I'm going to be doing with the back of it is, I'm going to be cutting one pattern, which is the back. Now the back is going to remain the same measurement as I have this pattern, because this pattern actually fits me quite well. However, to get the front part of it, you're going to be folding the back part in half. Now I'm going to be pulling this fabric over so you guys can have a really good look. So you're going to be folding the back part of it in half. Now this part of it, this section, can always remain the same. You don't have to trouble that. That's going to be quite fine. But what you're going to be doing is, the fabric that you're going to be using, you're going to be folding this as well. So you're going to be cutting on the fold. So I fold that over, right? Then you're going to be taking this. So you're just going to be cutting it and you're going to be placing, but you want to have the fold on this side. Where the centerpiece is, that's where you want to have the fold, because you're actually going to be tracing down to get the impression. So what you're going to be doing is, you put it, but you can measure based on how big you want yours to go. Now coming from the end, I want my blouse to be a little bit long, because I know I'm going to be wearing it otherwise, and I much prefer longer blouse than shorter blouse. So I'm just going to be going 2 inches up, and I'm gonna be pinning that. But before I pin that, what I'm gonna be doing is catching the measurement from the top of where the fold is to the bottom. So I'm gonna fold until I get the measurement that I want. Alright, so we're going with 1.5 inches. So I'm just going to go ahead and mark out 1.5 inches going there. But before I do that, as I said before, I want to catch the measurement to ensure that I have it. So from here to here, the pattern that I'm using is 9.5 at the end and 9.5 up here. So what you're going to be doing is adding the 1.5 inches to here to get how wide you're going to be folding the fabric. Now that should take you up to around 11 inches. Well, it was going to take you to 11 inches. So what you're going to do with the 11 inches is you're going to ensure that the whole entire fabric that you're going to be doing from the top to the bottom is the same. So you're going to be getting 11 inches, and you just want to pin that. So I got my 11 inches. So now we're going to get the bottom going up. As I said, I want mine to be a little bit a little longer than this blouse. Alright, now you guys, so all you're going to be doing now is just to pin the pattern itself down now. Just going to be pinning the pattern itself down. Alright, so now I'm just going to go ahead and cut this out. I'm just going to go ahead and do that. Okay guys, so I've cut the front part of it out. As you can see, it's going to be abnormally bigger than. So let me place back this, which is actually the back on it. And you're going to see that it's a bit bigger than it. All these measurements are going to be the accurate measurements that I'm going to be using. So I'm just going to be I'm going to be folding this back in half now. I'm going to be pinning it. Alright, so I'm just going to go ahead now, and from here I'm just going to mark out 1.5 inch coming all the way down. So I'm going to be using this. The next thing that we're going to be doing is to cut out the back part. So I'm going to be getting my 2 inches coming along here. As you can see, I placed the sleeves on. Now I went ahead and traced out where I want the sleeve to stop, because I'm going to be putting on an additional 1.5 inch. Now that is because I'm going to be turning it up to get that fold going around the end of the sleeve. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut that out. Now you guys, you want to ensure that when you are doing this though, you make sure that the sleeves are also cut on the same grain, because you don't want one sheen of the fabric going in one direction and one sheen going in the other, because when you construct the garment, you're gonna have the sheen on one part looking slightly different. So you just want to ensure that when you are cutting, you cut everything going in the same direction. Alright, so this is what the piece is going to look like. You're going to have a little 1.5 inch extra down at the bottom. Alright, I'm just going to put these pieces on the side, and what I'm going to be doing is to show you guys how I'm going to be cutting out the part to go around the neck. Now generally when I'm cutting these out, I want them to be long, because I'm going to be making a little knot in the front of it. So what I generally do is either if I'm cutting and the fabric is not long enough, I cut 2 pieces and then I just join it in the back. So that's what I'm gonna be doing here. Generally when I'm doing this, what I do is I would take the measurement of whatever the actual length of the blouse is. So I measure coming down here and I go 2 times the amount. Now when I do that, basically this is what it would be, around 52 inches, and this is long enough, so when I get that tie going there with the bows, I still have long enough coming down. So that is the idea. You don't want it to be too short, as well as you still don't want it to be too long, but you just definitely don't want it to be short. So I'm gonna go with about 54 there about, because I'm gonna need a few inches for the other ones. I'm gonna need just about 2 inches or so. The half of 54 would be 27, so I'm gonna cut 2 pieces of 27 inches by 6 inches, because I do want it to be wide enough. Now the reason why I'm going 6 inches just to get the base here, because I'm gonna be slimming it as I'm coming down. So we're gonna go ahead and cut that out. All right, okay guys, so these are the pieces. This is what the front is going to look like. Right, see, I have the part that I pinned. I'm just going to stitch that going down the middle. This is the back. These are the sleeves. And these two are going to be the part that I'm going to be putting around the neck to make that necktie. Alright. Okay you guys, the first thing that I'm going to be doing on the blouse is just to where I have the mark, I'm going to be following the 1.5 inch going all the way down. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that. Just stitch it all the way down. Okay you guys, so now I have this part. Now what I'm going to be doing is to even this out to find the center, and I'm just going to be laying it down like this, going all the way down, and then I'm going to press it so that it lays down and have to form the design that I want in the front. So I'm just going to go and pin it down, and then I'm going to press it. Okay you guys, so I went ahead and find the center of it and pin it down. However, there's another way that you can do this. If you don't want to have the trouble of having to pin it down like this, what you can do is to put it to one side. So when you get the stitch going, you just put it towards one side and then you stitch it down like that, and then you press it. But if you're gonna be doing this style like how I have mine, where I find the center of it, now you guys pay attention. I don't know if you can see this, but if you press down, you can see this impression where the middle of it is. Now when you're gonna be pressing, if you're using this particular method, you're just gonna be pressing each of the ends going all the way up. You're not gonna be pressing where you find the center of this, else this you're going to see the impression of this coming all the way down. So you're just gonna be pressing the edges to lay them down flat. Okay you guys, so I went ahead and I press it down. So this is what it looks like now. Alright you guys, what we're gonna be doing is to cut off the top part of this up where the head is, up where the neckline is. So what I'm gonna be doing is I'm just gonna be folding it like this. Usually I would cut it off first, but because I know I'm doing a different style of a blouse, I'm doing a necktie blouse, and usually, as I said before, you just put this part to the side if you're gonna be doing it with this particular design. But as you can see from the drawing, it's a little bit different. It has that particular design plus the necktie. Alright, so I'm just gonna be placing this down on it. So you see I place it right down, and I'm just using one of the front part from the pattern that I said that I use. However, this neckline is a little bit too high for what I'm going to be needing, so I'm just going to be going a 1/2 inch in, and I'm going to be cutting that out. However though, the reason why I use the back part of the pattern is because it will give me both back and front, and it will help me as a guide so I don't cut too low, because you're gonna be putting on the necktie, so you don't want to be cutting too low. So I'm just gonna go ahead and cut that out. Okay guys, the next thing that you're gonna be doing is to join the back part and the front part together. So you're gonna be joining up at the top of both of them and along the sides going down. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do that. Okay you guys, so I went ahead and stitched the top, and I went ahead and zigzag it as well. I did the sides, and at the sides I did some little slits. Now this is what it looks like on the right side. Now I did it on both sides. Now the reason why I did this is, as I said before, I want to be able to wear my blouse. Otherwise I don't just want to wear it to the wedding, and then after I come from the wedding I just put it down and don't wear it again. So I wanted to be able to wear it over my jeans pants. So this is how it looks, and I also went ahead and did the ends, as you guys can see. Alright, so what I'm gonna be doing now is and I stitched down the top here to hold it in place. So now I'm just gonna go ahead and pin in the sleeves, both sleeves, and then I'm going to sew them underneath the sewing machine, and then I'll let you guys see how it looks when I insert the sleeves. Okay you guys, so here I just stitch along the sleeve and zigzag it, and then I just went ahead and pin it in place into the blouse. So I'm just gonna go now and insert just run it underneath the sewing machine and sew it in. So I'm just gonna go ahead and sew in the sleeves, alright? Okay you guys, so I went ahead and put in both arms, but what I'm gonna do is show you how to get the fold in the arm. Now as you can see, I went ahead and stitched this. Now what I did was I fold over 2 inches, and then I tucked under 1/4 inch, and I stitched going all the way around. Then I kind of just pressed it flat. Now what you're gonna do to get the fold going around to have it looking something like this. Okay guys, so I just went ahead and pressed along there. Okay, so I'm gonna show you now. So after you've sewed along the line, the 2-inch line, you're just gonna be folding over about 1 inch, and you're going to be pressing it down. So look what's gonna happen when I fold this over. That's how it's going to be, because that's what I did. I just went ahead and fold it over and press it. But then you're going to get a stitch going right along here, that's underneath the arm, and that will help to keep it down. But basically this is how it's going to be looking when you finish with both sleeves. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the other sleeve, and then I'll show you guys what I'm gonna do with the neckline. Okay guys, now the piece that I went and cut the 2 pieces to do the tie for the neck. Now I just went ahead and joined them together, and then I fold them. Now what I'm gonna be doing is I just marked out the measurement of the neckline. So this is what the neckline is, the complete measurement. So you're just going to mark it out from the center. So you're just going to put the center of this to the center of the back of the neck, and you find the measurement to the center on each side. Now the little mark that I have here, what I'm going to be doing is to cut this going down slant, because that's how it's going to be cut, and then I'm just going to stitch along here. But I'm going to stitch until I get to this point, and then I'm going to stop. Okay you guys, so I went ahead and I stitched it on the wrong side. Now what I'm going to do is to go ahead and just turn it over on the right side, and I'm going to pin it in the neck, and I'm going to show you guys what you're going to be doing. Okay guys, so I went ahead and I pressed it. As you guys can see, I turned it over. So I went ahead and pressed it. Now this is basically what it's going to shape like after it's pressed. See it has that slant, and then up here is a bit thicker. Now what I'm gonna be doing is, from where I join it, this is the middle, so I'm going to use the middle of it, and I'm gonna be taking the blouse, the neck of the blouse, and I'm gonna be putting so this is how I'm doing it. I'm using this part, it's gonna be facing up, so the wrong side is gonna be facing up, and at the back of the neckline I'm going to find the middle of it and going to mark there. So I'm using the back of it now, and this is on the right side, so the right side of the back of the blouse, I'm putting right side to right side, center to center, and I'm just going to tack it. And then I'm going to pin going all the way around. Okay, so this is how it's going to look. So you're gonna have right side on right side, and you're just going to go ahead and go under the sewing machine, and you're just gonna stitch right around the neckline, and then I'm gonna show you how you're going to tuck these parts over. So I'm gonna go under the sewing machine and sew it around. Okay guys, so I just went on the sewing machine and I sewed all the way around here. So this is what it's going to be looking like now. You're just gonna be having the neckline. As you can see, the crease here. Now this is where I had folded in two when I was ironing it. So basically what you're gonna be doing is to, let me see if I can catch it even better for you guys. You're gonna be tucking these. You're just gonna be folding over 1/4 inch here, and you're going to be placing down the part that you just stitched, folding it over to hide all of the raw edges in the middle, and you're just gonna be pinning it. So I'm gonna do a few of them and show you how it's gonna look. Now what this is gonna do is great control, especially for satin, like fabrics like these that will ravel. It's very good, because then the part that is gonna ravel is gonna end up being stitched 2 different times. So that's very good. So I'm just gonna pin these down and show you how it's going to look basically. Okay, so this is how it's gonna end up looking. And as you can see, you don't see any of the raw edges there. So it basically just hide all of the raw edges. Now you're just gonna be doing that, going all the way around the neckline, and then you're gonna be giving it a stitch right under the edge of it. So I'm gonna go over to the sewing machine and do that. Okay guys, so now that I finished sewing all the way around here, so this is what the blouse is gonna look like. You see I have the tie. So what I'm gonna be doing is to show you what I'm gonna be doing to tie the bow, because I went ahead and I just got a strip of fabric and I just sew it and turn it and press it. So I'm gonna show you how I'm going to use this to tack in the bow. Alright? Okay guys, so I'm gonna show you how to get the bow. So you have the two pieces. What you're gonna be doing is to fold one over on each other. Now you're not gonna be tying it. You can if you want, but I'm not gonna be tying it because I don't want it to be too bulky. So the one that I lay over, I'm just going to pull it up. This is the one to lay over, and the one that I'm going to have underneath, I'm just gonna be folding it under like this. Just simply that, to how wide I want the bow to be. Now you can adjust it to how fluffy you want the bow to be, or if you want the bow to be longer and hanging down. I don't want it to be longer and hanging down. I just want to have a small bow looking perky. So I just fold it to the length that I want and I lay it back down. The one that I'm gonna be folding over, I'm gonna be doing the same thing. When I do that, the end of this is going to be going back in the direction which it's coming from, and I'm just going to be folding it over. So I'm going to let you guys have a look at it. So this is how it's going to look. You're going to have this folding over like that and that folding like that. Now what you're going to be doing is, you can see how this is going to curve. So you just fold it back down like this. And this is the same thing. That's how you get that bend there. And then I'm just going to be taking this. I'm going to be tucking the ends in like that. And I'm going to be putting it over here. Tucking it on the inside. And then pulling these up together. Folding this part as well. The end of this. And I'm just going to be tucking it over. I'm using one hand. But let me put the camera down. Alright you guys, so as I said, you're going to be folding this. So I'm going to be using the pin to show you. So what you're going to do is, you're going to lift these up, because you don't want to be stitching. When you're going to be stitching it, you're just going to be stitching it on the blouse itself. You're not going to be stitching down the ties. So you just simply tack that. You fold that over, so that's how you're gonna get that. Now this part is going to help to hide the raw edges. Then you're just gonna be folding it over to where you have the bows. You're just gonna be folding this part over and then you tuck it down. Now I'm gonna tuck this. I'm just gonna use a pin right now so you guys can have a good idea. And you're just gonna be pulling these out. So I'm just gonna be setting it to how I want it to be. Now you're gonna adjust these. You can adjust them after you stitch it, because you're not basically gonna be stitching down the bow itself. And I like the way how I normally do it when I do it like this, because when I do it like this I get the chance to like shift it around, and I don't have to worry about how length, because you can just pull the length to how long you want it. And you'll get the chance to adjust up here as well when you do it like this. So just let me, I'm just gonna do this and show you guys before I stitch it. But yeah, you guys, it's gonna basically look something like this. Now when it's stitched, it's gonna have the gathering, so it's gonna be a little bit more perky, and I'm gonna adjust it a little better. So I'm gonna go ahead and do mine, and then I'll show you guys the finished product. And yeah, okay, you guys, so this is what the blouse is gonna be looking like. So there you see, you have that turn up on the sleeves, and you guys can see how I did the bow. Now, as I said, you can just adjust the bow to however length that you want, but that's the length that I'm going with, and you see the style of it coming down there. And as it works out, you guys, it fits perfectly. I don't have to put any darts in. I can just leave it just the way it is, and I can have it to wear it like otherwise, aside from just going to the wedding. But yeah, you guys, and you guys can see how this is. So it has the fold on the sides. Well, yes, you guys, thank you very much for watching, and join me again. I'm gonna be working on a pouch to wear to the wedding. Thank you guys very much for watching. Bye. Okay guys, so now I am finished with my skirt. So you guys, let's take a look at the zipper. So it's in now. Alright, so this is the finished product. This is how the front of the skirt is looking.